Welcome, you're watching NewsX with me, Devika Chopra. Top focus right now is a bizarre t-shirt with the images of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, which were being sold on several e-commerce websites including Meesho and Flipkart. After this was flagged by several users on social media, the websites have now been forced to take down this merchandise. What's even more appalling is that the t-shirts were available in sizes for both men as well as little children and were costing just about 200 bucks. Now the t-shirts have been taken down, but the real question is, why is a jailed gangster being made into a fashion icon or someone who needs to be put on a t-shirt and paraded around? This is a man who's accused in several murders, including those of Sidhu Moosewala, of a former Maharashtra minister Baba Siddiqui, and has also openly threatened to kill Salman Khan. Why is one of the world's most notorious gangsters then being glorified by e-commerce giants? What action can be taken in this wake-up call that we have received today as a society? I take this conversation forward. I have with me Advocate Naveen Chomal, who's a senior lawyer. We also have with us Vicky Nanjappa, senior journalist, and we have Dhanraj Vanjari, a former police officer. Raj Vanjari, the point is that this is not simply about Salman Khan or the Black Buck case. Have we somewhere then failed in our duty to perhaps inform the public of what all a Lawrence Bishnoi is accused of, which has ultimately resulted in his glorification? Because like I said, I think most people only know him as a man who's openly threatened Salman Khan over the Black Buck case. And whether it's for a religious reason or not, whether he wants to now portray himself as a preserver of the Bishnoi community and its beliefs and faiths, ultimately we're a country that's a law-abiding country. The law is applicable to all. So there's one person who's trying to take the law in his own hands, and somewhere in all of that, have we forgotten the other cases where actual murders have taken place and his name has come up?
Actually, this issue is not complicated. This is a very simple issue. It comes to the duties of the state. And what Indian Constitution says, you go to the directive principle, it's a job of the state, it's a responsibility of the state to protect the youngsters from getting wrongly notioned and the wrong narratives being created. Now, by wearing the t-shirt, I have not seen any t-shirt of Dawood or Arun Gowli or Chota Rajan wearing a t-shirt and glorifying the criminals. You are trying to... Naveen, I was quiet when you were speaking. Hope you will have patience to understand me. I have beautiful points, and that too for you also, dear Naveen. So try to...
Mr. Vanjari, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
When the entire nation is going through a beautiful word Bitcoin, that is a criminalization of politics. And in the criminalization of politics, if you think the weapon against weapon, eye against eye, so what message we are giving to particularly youngsters in the society? Is it not the duty of state, constitutional duty of the state, to stop such kind of menace? Yes, it is, but it is not happening. Why? Why the person staying in jail can order the murder of some minister in Maharashtra? Baba Siddiqui's case is there. Is it not the truth that when Dawood was glorified in certain manner, none other than the Shiv Sena Supremo Balasaheb Thackeray has started the glorification publicly on open dais, saying, "वो मुस्लिम है तो हमारा भी हिंदू डॉन है अरुण गौली." Was it not a fact of history? Let us not forget the history, what we are going to do over here. What state is going to do? What our great constitution, where do we stand? Are we going in this fashion? Are we tomorrow creating the glorification for criminals? We forget the philosopher, we forget
but Mr. Vanjari,
we forget the people like
Mr. Vanjari, are you trying to indicate that somewhere then, why are people glorifying criminals? Is it because there is somewhere also a failure of the entire justice system? Is it reflective of that as well?
Not only justice system, the entire politics is criminalized badly. All IAS, IPS, the entire administration, including judiciary, are influenced by the politicians and they are working as a slave of politics. There is no independent institution being kept and survive in this country only for the reasons that the political bosses wants to control everything, including the psychology of society. The social psychology issue is very important where you want to take the youth of this country. Why the people should understand a criminal glorification in a manner you want them to understand. There is a big question. If politicians and politics is at the place and Indian constitution takes place properly, entire institution being put at that place. If there is suppose no law, Naveen says, well, there is no law. उसके खिलाफ क्या action हुआ इसके खिलाफ भाई ठीक है Naveen, I understand. But what stops state from making such laws and what stops state from criminalization of entire society by seizing the factories where such kind of nasty t-shirt being printed and distributed to the people?
Okay, Naveen Chomal, I give you the time to respond to that.
See, whatever Manzari Saab said, with all due respect, he is talking with good intentions in the national interest.
Manjari, I leave the last word to you. Now, to the people who have somewhere understood Lawrence Bishnoi to be the real hero or have understood Lawrence Bishnoi to be a gangster who ought to be glorified and we ought to be wearing his t-shirts and parading his face around, how is it that you would then want to convince them that they've really just got it wrong? He's not some anti-hero here.
Actually, our real hero should be those scientists of ISRO who has put the satellite on Mars and trying to do it on Venus. Our heroes should be some big academicians who put forth internationally India forward. Our heroes should be the Olympian who put the India's name on the flag of the international level. What is this kind of heroism? I am shocked and surprised. And I have strong belief since I worked 35 years in the system of law enforcement. The law enforcing agencies should take their constitutional responsibility bestowed on them. And they should see that such kind of nasty exercises should be stopped and prevented by hook or crook. But why it is not happening? The million-dollar question comes of why it is not happening. Because some way the gangsters are having their utility factor for the politicians. Now, Bishnoi has his network in 7 countries in the world. Can you imagine it can happen without the support of those countries' government and the support, active support of Indian government? Is it possible? How the criminals are pampered? Are you going to create a criminal culture in this society or what? The question comes over there. Whose baby it is? Whose responsibility is it? And speaking constitutionally, it's a responsibility of the state. But if state is going in a different way, where the question should go and stop judiciary? Do you want some petition to be filed in Supreme Court and then only Supreme Court will give the order to stop all those factories creating such kind of nasty t-shirts? It is ridiculous. It's a responsibility of state, responsibility of every brilliant, learned, intellectual citizen of this country, media of this country, that such exercises should not be encouraged, rather it should be discouraged to the level it becomes zero. And I think the spirit of heroism should not lie in criminology, it should lie in humanity. That is the last message I would like to share.
All right, I've completely